All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
Welcome to Colts Law. I'm Lawrence Owen, and in today's news, the last few days of training camp for the Indianapolis Colts have seen Carson Wentz, their starting quarterback, and their starting left guard, Quentin Nelson, who had similar injuries just 9-10 days ago, respectively, for each of them, for the exact same injury, had the exact same surgery. And yet they're seen on the field, walking around, without any kind of boot, cast, or other protective item. Also, no noticeable limp. And on top of that, as reported by Chris Mortensen today, apparently, both Quentin Nelson and Carson Wentz are trending towards starting week 1. Now, this goes along with the reports that the Indianapolis Colts and Frank Reich and many others have been saying all along. They believe that Quentin and Carson were more believed to be closer to the 5-week era of that 5 to 12-week span that they first initially announced is how long it would take for this surgery for them to recover from. There was a lot of speculation as to whether or not they should go out and get another quarterback, such as Nick Foles or, another starting quarterback, go out, use trade capital, and spend some of their what little salary cap they have left for this year to go get a quarterback to start in place of Carson Wentz. Even though Quentin Nelson, who is widely regarded as the best guard in the NFL, if not the best offensive lineman in the NFL, there's no question on whether or not they should go out and get a backup for him as well, which goes to show you how important the quarterback position really is. But my question is, even if he is trending towards starting week 1, and he's able to, should he? That's a big question. Hey guys, please smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, and tag that notification bell so that you're notified next time I go live. Don't forget, you can also share this video to your favorite social media, and please open up that description of the video. In there you find a link to my Patreon, which is only $5 a month. Get all of my content plus Patreon specific content, and of course my merch shop right here. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. Because on initial thought is, obviously you start your starter. But there's a lot of things that you have to consider in this situation. If he's able to start week 1 but has yet to practice with the team, maybe a week, do you start him over the guy that has been sitting there practicing with the team for months, getting that cohesion with the team? Because Carson Wentz is a new person, someone brand new in the organization, does not have that cohesiveness with the rest of the team. Now, yes, he's out there at practice, he's talking, hanging out with people. He's even went out on his own during the offseason and brought in guys like tight ends and wide receivers and running backs to throw around and hang out with, just to kind of get that camaraderie with those players. But if he sits out the entire time, and then all of a sudden, the medical staff says, okay, you're good to go week 1 week prior, let's say, to starting, week 1 against the Seattle Seahawks, Do you put him in over Jacob Eason or even Sam Ehlinger? Because there is that whole thing going on right now between Eason and Ehlinger sharing first-team reps. That is a big question because right now Jacob Eason has had the past 3 weeks of training camp under his belt, getting that cohesion and understanding of not only the team, the coach, but he's on the field getting these reps with the other players and gaining their trust. Does that mean that they do not have trust in Carson Wentz? Absolutely not. That has nothing to do with that. It's the fact that, Eason and Ehlinger have been out there and they understand the tendencies of the offensive line. They understand the tendencies of these wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, getting their speed down, things of that nature. Where Carson Wentz hasn't had that. The only way I would start Carson Wentz is if he was practicing for at least 2 weeks. Now, from what I understand, that is the rule anyhow, that you cannot start a player until he's had a full 2 weeks of practice with a team. Right? That's how the Colts rule. I'm not sure if that's an NFL rule or just an Indianapolis Colts rule, but I've heard that multiple times over, where they need 2 weeks full practice before they can start. So even though he might be trending toward being able to start week 1, does not mean that he can, because he'll need 2 weeks of full practice before he can start. But as with the reports of Chris Mortensen and myself and Colts Loyalist here on my show, Carson's been out there walking around, no limp. It's a very, very big deal here at the Indianapolis and Westfield at Grand Park, where they are holding their training camp. Today, obviously, it's Wednesday, and we have practices with the Carolina Panthers and their new quarterback, Sam Darnold. A lot of reports coming in that now that Kwity Paye has went down to injury and that Sam Ehlinger is not exactly having the best time throwing with the ones. Darius Leonard apparently picked him off. So it is what it is. We're still waiting to see what goes on. I like what I've seen in the backups and what they're able to do. Just in case Carson physically might be able to play week 1, but maybe he doesn't have the training and the practice in. We don't know until we actually see it happen, but he's trending towards that. So that is a really great thing to look out for. We talk about Kwity Paye, who also goes down with a lower leg injury today. That's many players who had lower leg injuries so far this offseason. Starting out, Darius Leonard has that going into training camp. Had to have surgery early June. Carson Wentz with the foot. Quentin Nelson also with the foot. Multiple people have had lower leg and foot injuries so far this camp for the Indianapolis Colts. What's in the water down there? I hope they figure out what it is. Hopefully it's just a coincidence and it's not something that the Indianapolis Colts as a team and organization are doing that's increasing the chances of these type of injuries. Until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. Would you start Carson Wentz if he has not had practice going into week 1 versus the Seattle Seahawks? Or would you go with a backup? Answer that in the comments. Don't forget to check me out here on Newsbreak or on YouTube. The links are on each platform. And until next time, as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.